Hello students, in this part we will be analyzing the specimen paper. So we will start from paper 1 HL, okay, and the maximum mark is 25 marks and the duration is 1 hour 15 minutes. Here the interesting part is out of 3 questions you need to answer any one question, and each questions will be having a 2 sub questions, 2 parts, okay. In that, explain is the one question command term usually at the almost all the time, and evaluate or discuss is the option B command term. So based on this command term only you need to present your answer. See, remember one thing you could see common in option B part of all 3 questions. See, using real world examples, part B, using real world examples, right? And question number C also, sorry, question number 3 also, using real world example. See, look at, so you can expect that by using real world example, you need to evaluate a particular situation or particular, you need to answer the questions based on the real world example. This is what you can conclude. Okay, in the paper 1, this is the same for SL also. In the paper 1, remember you have to use real world examples. If you are not using real world examples, you will not be going to get maximum marks. So we'll see student response, how the student responded for these questions, and how the examiner, what the examiner comment gave. So look at this is one student response. See, look at the student candidate opted question number 3, okay, and in this questions option A part, diagrams are compulsory, and if you are not including the diagram, and you will not be going to score more marks. So you need to take a practice of drawing the correct and correctly labeled and perfect diagram. Okay, so look at in this case question number 3, the student chosen question number 3, explain how currency depreciation might affect current account of balance of payment. How depreciating of the currency is affecting the current account balance. This is what the question, and how the student responded. See, look at, he explained the meaning of depreciation and also included the meaning of current account balance. After that, and he gave currency depreciation, how it will happen and what impact it is going to be happen, and he used the theoretical concept elasticity also. This is Marshall Lerner condition, he used that also, and the J curve also he has drawn, that's good, and he explained this also, explained the diagram also, and finally he has concluded the effect of depreciation of a country's currency depends on the price elasticity of demand for the country's export and import. So the candidate is having a clear-cut idea what actually he has to write. He understood the question completely, and he delivered the content very systematically. See, he defined the key theory, what theory he has used, and he applied economic theory, and also he applied the economic theory, and also he has used the proper economic terms throughout the answer, and he has drawn proper and complete or neatly drawn diagram and with the clear information, and he explained and he has concluded, right? This is the structure you need to follow. And another candidate, if you look at, and for this examiner comment also, it is very good. So look at, out of 10 marks the candidate got 9 marks for that question, and the feedback is a good, well explained answer. The feedback from the examiner is it's outstanding, but still the candidate can score 1 more marks. It is not still out of out, like a 10 marks, still there is a possibility, 1 more mark there is a possibility to score. Okay, so this is the one thing. And similarly, if you look at the example 2, question number 2 opted candidate after question number 2, And in the question is explain two tools open to a central bank for the conduct of expansionary monetary policy. And firstly, he talked about open market operation, and the second one is reserve requirement. These tools are used and explained very well, right? And what is the examiner comment? If you looking at, then examiner gave 8 marks out of 10, and say 8 marks out of 10. The student exhibits complex understanding of the monetary policy. There is a sophisticated use of language relevant to the question. There is no diagram, but a money markets diagram is arguably relevant here. So, but in the second part he has used, but no diagram. There is no diagram, but a money market diagram is arguably relevant here. So the examiner is expecting a diagram here, right? In this part, the candidate didn't include, but however, examiner is, if the candidate includes money market diagram, then that will be a more, that will give more strength to the to the answer. So that will improve the efficiency of the answer. Okay. And again, in the second part, using real world example, evaluate the effectiveness of monetary policy to achieve low unemployment. This is the thing. And here, throughout the answer, the example should be used, right? But candidate is used this one. What is that? 2008 financial crisis concept, right? 2008 financial crisis, but it is not that much effective. So the examiner feedback is for that one, it is 12 mark, and he stated that started with the definition. Although this would not be required, candidate must demonstrate appropriate use of relevant terminologies and good explanation. Diagrams are used to illustrate the model, and what not demand for some very, although more recent, see, some very good examples are given, although the more recent ones are good. See, examiner is expecting the recent current affairs related examples, not the old one. Some very good examples are given, although the more recent ones are good. Perhaps a more developed examination of the Brazil example might have allowed stronger evaluation. It was not fully developed to support the question. Okay, the candidate understood maximum part of the questions, but still there is a possibility to improve the quality of the answer, right? So this is the thing. But meanwhile, if you look at another example, another candidate response, and this is for option A, question number 1. Option A, question number 1, and here if you look at asymmetric information related, and the candidate didn't explain the completely something he has written, right? And then for the namesake he just covered a few words, but what the examiner comment is given, look at this one, that is interesting. The candidate scored 2 marks out of 10 for option A, right? And the response is not developed, and this is the feedback from the examiner. There is a lack of understanding of the demands of the question. The response doesn't offer two coherent ways in which the problem of asymmetric information might be responded. See, the candidate here didn't respond properly, didn't understand the question clearly. There is a little knowledge about the specific demand of the question. So that's the reason scored 2 marks out of 10. See, what we can conclude now, in the paper 1, it is looking easy, but if we are not understanding the specific demand of the question, and scoring good marks is really challenging, because duration is only 1 hour 15 minutes, and you have to plan perfectly, then only you can answer this one. And also you have to be thorough in all the economic key concept, and also theories and key contents, everything. Entire syllabus unit, here you know that in the entire syllabus unit you have to be thorough, then only you can answer, and then only you can score more marks or better marks in this part. If you are not knowing the completely, then it will be a little challenging. Okay, so please be ready for that one, and keep examples for whether it is micro or macro. If you are deciding one part, see for example, from here itself you can clearly understood that one question from micro, one question from macro, one question from the global economy, right? This clearly illustrates us there is no information about, there is no question from unit 1, but it clearly says one is from micro, one is from macro, one is global. So you have to be thorough in which part you are going to answer, right? And the next one is paper 2. Will move on the paper 2. Just hold on. And the next one is paper 2. See, look at here, 1 hour 45 minutes, and the maximum marks are 40. Maximum mark is 40. See, remember, you will be having one passage, and text A, text B, like that, and sometimes text C, and data related information also will be given. One data information also will be given, right? And the next one is, there will be a questions for like see, look at here. So option, from option A to option G. See, look at the questions. A number of questions will be asked is option A 1, B, and C, D, E, F, G. Remember here, this part, if you are looking carefully, this part is very interesting. See, look at this part, because in question number, see, option B part 2, draw a demand and supply diagram. Option C, using market failure diagram. Option D, using ADAS diagram. Option E, using an exchange rate diagram. Option F, using Lorentz curve diagram. See, look at, this is the scoring part of your in this paper. If you are strong in the diagram, you have to draw 5 diagrams. Not only in the question number 1, if you look at the question number 2, also the same. Question number 2 also the same. So you look at, draw demand and supply diagram showing the effect of imposing minimum price. Okay, one second. Yeah, and here, using an appropriate diagram, explain the type of unemployment being created in Chicago. Using ADAS diagram, explain the possible effects of currency depreciation on inflation. Using exchange rate diagram, explain one measure that Mexican government might take to prevent the substantial depreciation of the Mexican peso. And using poverty cycle diagram, explain how the net increase in the foreign direct investment in Mexico between 2010 and 15 might lead to an improvement in economic development. See here, option, from option B, second part, option C, option D, option E, option F, everything is common in the question number 2 also, and in the question number 1 also. See, look at, in this part, there completely, you should have a thorough knowledge about the diagram, about the complete theoretical knowledge, then only you can answer. This is looking very easy, but if you are not strong in the content knowledge, then it is very difficult to answer, and you might be confusing which curve, which side it is moving, right? So please take a practice of diagrams. And this is the scoring part. This is the scoring part. Easily you can get 18 marks out of 40. And here one question is calculation related. Usually it is a 3 mark or sometimes 2 mark. See, look at, this is question number 1. They are asking calculate the GDP. That's the reason they have given the table. Here the table they have given, because one question is based on the table and the calculation part. That is to 3 marks. In the question number 2 also you could see one question related with the mathematical part. See, look at here, Calculate the value of one Mexican peso in US dollars for 2014 and 16. This is 2 marks. Look at the different. Okay. So one question is calculation related, and there is a four and actually four question, and the fifth one is part of the question. So totally it is somewhere around 16. So 18 or 18 marks comes from the diagram, and 2 or 3 marks comes from calculation part, and 4 marks is definition. Right here, define the term investment, define the term depreciation, and in the question number 1 also you could see that. See, look at here also, define the term economic growth, define the term market failure. Right. So one question, option A is definition part. It is maximum 4 marks. So if we are systematically learning, then scoring out of out in paper 2, it is not at all difficult. Right? Easy, but you need to understand you need to decode the specimen paper. Okay. And the next one is, this is discuss type of questions. Usually this is argument based, and this completely based on this passage. So you have to be quickly, you need to understand this passage, given the passage, and you have to give your own argument, and you need to select, you need to identify key terms in the which is given in the passage. This is what in the paper 2, and the same thing for the SL also. There is no much different. And the next one is paper 3 HL. See, paper 3, it is a marking scheme. That's definitely. So look at the diagrammatical questions. Okay, just hold. Okay, in this paper also, technically it is 1 hour 45 minutes, but for you, because of the pandemic, it is reduced to 1 hour, 1 hour, and actually you need to answer any one question, not two questions. Okay, you need to answer any one questions. They will be giving you two questions, but you need to answer only one question. Okay, this is not correct for this examination only, but next examination, November session or May session, next May, 2023, it will be, you need to answer all questions. Okay, see, remember here also you can decode how many marks they are asking. Look at here, calculate 2 marks and calculate 3 marks, so totally 5 marks now, and calculate 7 marks, and here you can calculate 8 marks, and the term define, look at here, there is changing, define the term current account of balance. So yeah, already 8 marks is mathematical related part, and explain here, explain using an example, explain importance of the presenting GDP per capita statistics at purchasing power parity. See, look at here, this is defined questions, previously defined question we have seen, and now explanation question we are asked, and already 8 marks for allotted for calculation, and here is another calculation question, so 2 marks, so totally 10 marks now it is there for only for maths part, and 5 marks has been asked for explanation part. See, look at here, the definition part 1 mark, sorry 2 marks, and here explanation part 4 marks, so 6 marks is related to the explanation part. And using at least 2 items of information provided, explain why the government of country X should be very concerned at the prospect of a fall in world coffee price. Here also, see, remember explanation question. Okay, already 6 marks was there, and now it is 4, so 10 marks. So 10 marks are calculation, 10 marks are explanation, and 10 marks are policy related. This is the structure. Right, out of 30 marks, 10 marks will be completely math skill. You need to apply, you need to calculate whatever they are asking, and the 10 marks you need to explain, right? And the written part, another 10 marks, it is a recommended policy related questions. This is the structure of the question. And the same thing, if you look at the question number 2 also, the same structure will be there. So calculate part 2 marks here, and here calculate 2 marks, so 4 totally now, and calculate is 3 marks, so 4 plus 3 7. And here see, look at, they are asking referring to change in the Gini coefficient figure out one possible reason. What is that? It is 2 marks. So already calculation part 7 marks, 3 plus 2 plus 2, and another calculation part we'll see. Here explanation again, and here they have given a table, and here it is again explanation or comment, and using the marginal revenue, marginal social benefit curve, and here calculate. Already 7 marks were asked from calculation part, and here it is another 2 marks, so totally 9 marks, and rest of the questions are explanation part. So what we can conclude from here is, out of 30, 10 marks will be calculation part, 10 marks will be little explanation or comment or opinion, like that 10 marks will be there, and another 10 marks is policy recommendation questions. So this is the structure. Okay, here the last question is policy related, recommend a policy based on the situation. So what we can conclude from the question paper analysis is, you should have a thorough knowledge in the complete syllabus content. You should have a thorough knowledge in the complete syllabus content. If you are specifically focusing a particular topic, it will not help you to get a maximum, right? Based on the previous examination, I be definitely going to keep their standard, right? So my humble request is, please be strong in all the concept. Then only whatever the grade you are expecting, you can get it. Okay, thank you.